Okay.
Oh, we're just service time.
Okay. I hit
Alright.
the button. Now we just have to wait for YouTube to catch up.
I'm setting it live on my end, and then we'll put this thing in full screen if I can figure out how. Oh no, that's not it.
Okay, and YouTube says, there we go.
Where's the button to go full
Okay,
screen?
we're on YouTube.
Yay!
Right on.
Hi!
Okay, so why don't we go across and, everybody give a brief introduction of yourself.
Echo.
If anyone knows the button to make it go full screen again, that would be great.
If we got the echo, did somebody forget to mute the YouTube on theirs?
I did. I muted it, so I'm good.
That was me. That was me.
Okay.
Hi, I have very shit memory.
No, it's a common thing. I do a lot too, so.
No, I actively have very shit memory.
So we're talking
some days
about the
don't remember my own
NIFB,
name.
right?
Okay, well, why don't we give everybody a chance to introduce themselves since we don't seem to all know each other anyway. So, One Witch, why don't we start with you?
Hi, I'm half of One Atheist, One Witch. I'm the witch half, my husband's the atheist half, and we just started a YouTube channel where we kind of try to demonstrate how pagans and atheists can work together, and also have a series where I'm reading the Bible for the first time and apparently coming up with 5 pages of questions on Genesis chapter 1. So
Give it. It's awesome. It's really awesome.
Okay,
It's
how would you
hilarious.
prefer
Reminds me of
people
the
to address you in the chat?
you can witch, one witch, what the craft, it's
Oh, crap, okay.
Who's next?
Okay, then next we have Aaron.
Hi, I am Aaron from Aaron's Chair. I deal with a lot of disability awareness and how sometimes religion doctrine and just anti-harm and religion can really fuck with disabled people.
Yeah, I'm becoming more and more aware of how much religion is messing with medical professionals.
It's getting scary. It's getting very scary. Because there's a lot of Christian churches that are like, don't go to the doctor, we'll heal you. And it's like, you're not going to heal somebody of something like hereditary neuropathy with liability to pressure palsy. You're not going to heal somebody of that, because there's a huge H word in there.
Okay, and then...
Am I next?
Yeah, well, I'm going by the order they are on my screen, so the next we have the bad-tempered pumpkin.
Hello, I'm normally a badger. I am the bad-tempered badger. I talk about things on the internet, a good bit of atheist-related stuff and religious things, and also I talk about other things that I think are important to me at the time, or just whatever I feel like talking about.
A few lovely wildlife videos there.
Oh, and I do wildlife videos, yes.
About badgers.
Yeah.
And then we have the unpronounceable Beelzebub.
That's probably the first I've heard correct all day. And all day is only the last, 10 minutes or so. But, my name is B, call me Bub, and I make mostly atheist content where I primarily focus on hammering the Catholic Church.
Okay, and then we have Christopher.
Well, I'm an ex-Mormon, pagan, Epicurean, syndicalist. I mostly do ASCII art. That's what I'm most famous for, apparently, now. And I really don't have much of a channel. If my computer was working better, I would be doing more videos on my Godless Epicurean channel, but as my computer is a piece of crap right now, yeah. I'll make do with ASCII art.
ASCII art is a fantastic art form. I always appreciate seeing it. So you've got a fan here automatically.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and then we have inordinate refraction.
I've chatted with her. She forgets to push the microphone button on.
Yeah, I can see that her microphone is muted here. Are you with us, Inordinate? You need to unmute yourself. Oh, just dropped out of the stream. Okay, then we have Randolph. You need to unmute yourself as well.
I was going on purpose to see if somebody would say something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my name is Randolph Richardson. I am the founding president of the Canadian Atheists. I am particularly interested in today's topic because I have been trying to contact the NIFB, the New International Fundamentalist Baptists movement.
New Independent Fundamental Baptists.
New Independent Fundamental Baptists. Yeah, thank you for correcting.
You're welcome, man.
I do want to make sure I get people's names right. I would like to have a public conversation / debate with them. The first stage, finding out what their real positions actually are, and find out where there is area of agreement, and then proceeding into a debate with them where we go over the things that we disagree on, because from what I can see, it looks like there's a lot of things that they're promoting that I disagree with. And they have a branch in a neighboring city here, so that's why I have a particular interest in talking with them, as well as all the nasty things that they seem to be promoting.
Okay, can we go back to inordinate refraction? Did you hit the wrong button there?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, this building has some pretty shit Wi-Fi. It cuts out every now and again, so sorry if I disappear sometimes. So my name is Inordinate Refraction, but that's a pretty pretentious name, so you can just call me IR. I'm a physics major right now, and I mainly focus on debunking pseudoscience. That's about it.
Okay, and we have Sassy Atheist.
Hi! I'm Sassy. I'm Sassy Atheist. I have my own YouTube channel. I talk about many different things. I talk about religion, politics, LGBTQ community, and just a variety of different things. And I'm also on Twitter at SassyAtheist19, so yay!
Woo! Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure who we have here because it just says the atheist on my screen, which is
just the atheist.
Atheist rationale.
So if you want to talk about pretentious names in inordinate refraction, my name is the most pretentious of all. I call myself the atheist rationale, despite probably not being the most rational atheist on the platform here on YouTube. But I still do a little something here on YouTube. I mostly do research regarding this cult that we're going to be talking about today. I've worked a lot with Cirrus and some of the bigger names like Telltale, Mr. Atheist, and all of them. And yeah, I also like to call out hate that comes out of a lot of religious fundamentalism, debunk pseudoscience, Christian or otherwise, and goof on some cringe. That's always fun. So, you know, basically I do the same thing every other atheist YouTuber does.
Sorry, I didn't recognize you by sight, but I know you really got this started, and that Cirrus said that you had done a lot of the background research for some of his videos.
Yeah, I brought the NIFB to his attention, actually, and Raging Atheist as well, and I'm basically the reason why everybody's calling it a cult, which is kind of nice, I guess, to have some
well, I mean, Telltale did do the bite model breakdown, and they do fit, so.
Yeah.
Which I could have told anybody that, but that's Ow.
Well, thank you for the great work you've been doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm Purple Rhymes with Orange. I'm trying to get my channel going, but I really don't know what I'm doing. if you can tolerate the poor production standards. I've done a few videos on more obscure holidays and things. But yeah, I definitely plan on getting more into the debate. I don't want to do actual live debates or reaction videos, but I'll definitely be getting a lot more opinions in there.
In the throne, that's always fun.
He's sort of a Triceratops looking guy, so he must be good.
It's getting interesting.
Yeah, well, my channel is now gross. I've got 144 subscribers.
Woo woo woo!
Congratulations!
Congrats.
I am almost 800 now, I think.
Jeez, I'm pro.
Wow.
I'm
You got
80.
30.
I have 788 subscribers, and they are all amazing. Anyway,
I'm 85, I think. 85. I'm little compared to you all. Well, not you all.
Really fast
Not all.
because I believe I don't deserve it.
I don't.
I don't make nearly enough content to have 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't deserve any of my subscribers. They are all amazing. So I'm just like, I love all of them.
I thought mine was at 12. I realized it snuck up to 21 on me. So
Steady on
so
there.
little. So I'm grateful for all of it.
You know what that means? Everybody in the chat right now has to go and subscribe to Randolph over here.
Randolph spelled with an F.
Okay, just a little shout out in the side chat. Sloth Girl slowly is my companion and is, kind of helping to moderate the side chat here for me. So.
Oh, hi, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon.
Hello.
Who have we got?
I think we still have room for you if you want to pop in here.
I think we still have room for Shannon.
Oh,
Did
I don't.
Typical
Some of
Johnson.
you, I think I've told at least a majority of you. I don't know if I don't think. What's your name? Christopher, and yeah, but oh my God, when Atheist Rationale, he told me that, hey, they're taking calls in at the conference. I was like, my heart was beating. I'm like, oh, should I do this? Should I call? And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to say, and it wouldn't answer. And then finally, Tommy McMurray, he answered, and I just lost. I was like, all I have to say is that you are a very horrible, despicable human being. and then he said, I am really, and it's like, yeah, you caused the death of homosexual people. You should be ashamed of yourself. And he hung up on me.
Oh, what a shame.
And then the person that called in next, he said, hey, did you listen to that previous caller?
Yeah, it was great. I got kicked out of their chat for posting a pumpkin.
Oh no.
They were dropping Dan hammers like crazy on that stream, which is hilarious because they complain about censorship and all that stuff, but then they go ahead and censor everybody commenting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
I
why
got a
would
little
they be
too
so sensitive about pumpkins?
I don't know, but I did see an account that was named Tommy McMurtry that confirmed his attraction to pumpkins. So
Rest in peace, that account.
So
I
what
heard
are
so many.
So what are the most egregious claims of the NIFB? Like, I've heard them talking about wanting the government to line up people for their sexual orientation, specifically homosexual, and shooting them to death.
Not just LGBT members, but LGBT members and their allies. They are anti-vax. They're Holocaust deniers, because that's a fucking thing.
Wow. Okay.
I really want to do that, but I know I shouldn't.
Do it.
It goes a little bit farther than that. They puppet a lot of like those white supremacist conspiracy theories when it comes to Judaism. Like they're trying to take control over the media. They have control of the colleges so they can push their agenda on you. And all that kind of nonsense. It's pretty wild, honestly. And even in that stream, I grabbed a couple of screenshots from people saying that they'd want to do the same thing that I know, appealing to Godwin's law over here. They want to do some of the same things that Hitler did to Jewish people as well as LGBTQ plus people.
They're pretty horrendous.
You know,
they're
definitely.
I've been familiar with Steven Anderson for quite some time. I remember watching one of his sermons, and he was talking about just putting down single mothers and how it's disgraceful, and it's and just saying horrible stuff. And I got so offended because my mom raised me as a single mother. Okay, I rarely had a father in my life, so
I was raised by my biological mother as a single mother up until I was 14.
I was raised by a single mom.
And it's just the things that he says, I really want to flip the bird on him, but
at some point it might be wise to talk about their views on gender equality and their views on beating children, because that's
the video my dude. The video I'm actually doing is their views on birth control and gender equality. You got their
that's a good combination you got there.
About birth control by any chance?
I don't have the documentary about birth control. However, I do have Steven Anderson's sermon, and it's on my computer right now. So if you would like, I can email it to you.
I might have it, but I would still like a link. I have their documentary on it too, so I'll send that to you after.
I don't know.
I don't know documentaries now.
They don't have all of them on the.
They don't have all of them on there. I didn't.
Not yet. Yeah.
I know they're still putting things up though.
I'm assuming that IFB tube, whatever, is like brand new, so it's going to be a little while before they get everything.
Just dropped yesterday. It was just announced yesterday.
The whole thing is they're running scared now because we're like on this whole like the platforming spree right now, and they're really worried that they're going to get kicked off their social media platforms. They just
you can see it.
Faithful Word Baptist Church LA, the one Bruce Mejia runs, their Facebook page was shut down today for hate speech.
Awesome.
I just sent you a thing, so you send me the thing, and then I'll send you my thing.
Sure. I was going to do it after the stream.
That sounds like fun.
AR,
real quick.
AR, are they connected to Quiverful, or has that not been confirmed?
Not really. They're not exactly the Quiverful movement. It's its own separate cult. However, they have Quiverful doctrine. They take a verse from the Bible that says that you need to keep your quiver full of children. So they basically use their women as baby factories.
Yeah.
All right,
Steven Anderson himself has 11 children.
How exactly?
It's insane.
How exactly are children supposed to fit in a quiver?
What makes it kind of worse, honestly, though, is they're supposed to subscribe to this like once saved, only saved thing. All you have to do is like have faith in Jesus and you're saved or whatever. That only applies to the men. For the women, they have to have a baby for their congregation in order for them to be saved, which is probably a little more fucked up than anything else. Well, actually no, because they believe in marital rape as well. Marriage is permanent consent to them.
When I saw was a Steven Anderson say that there's no such thing as rape in marriage,
Yeah, sounds very. Sounds like.
Sassy, I don't blame you. A lot of their stuff is really hard to stomach after like listening to it.
I know I told some of you, but for anyone in the chat that doesn't know about it, Steven Anderson in an interview and many other times before have said that LGBTQ stand for Let God Burn Them Quickly.
All the pastors are saying that. They even had a TV screen that said that on there during their conference, which is the news media glossed over it.
Last night I went down a rabbit hole.
They tried to like show it. They tried to like hide it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
last night,
no.
Yeah. Last night I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube looking for Christians that had spoken out or anything, and it goes back 9 years that they have been dealing with him, at least on YouTube. But no call to action, no call to get him out of the community or protest him or anything. It's pray for him, pray for the community. I rebuke what he's saying. No, he's misinterpreting. Like, what they were saying wasn't that much better than what he's saying. They just weren't saying, no, we need to put them to death. Like, that was the only thing that they weren't saying.
You talked about Mike Winger's video on it yesterday, right?
Yeah, hold on. I got notes. Because I watched that last night. And, okay, this thing has been seen, when I looked at it last night, the views were like, where did I put those notes? Okay, there it is. 45,000, over 45,000 views on this video. Okay, it's unclear whether or not he's denouncing Steven Anderson or what Steven Anderson says. Like, that's never really clear. He does reach out to anybody that's following Steven Anderson to, like, leave, not watch him on YouTube, unsubscribe from him, those kind of things.
Oh, that's gonna be funny, because he's going to reach out to, like, my other Twitter, because I'm blocked by Steven Anderson and the NIFB, and I'll be like, I'm fighting these people, it's fine.
Right. And then, he still says homosexuality is a sin, but he says that everybody is a sinner in some form or fashion, and the sin of homosexuality is equal to adultery and equal to murder and, you know, any other sin that's listed in the Bible, they're all equal.
He's basically puppeting the same thing that Anderson says, minus the death penalty then.
Pretty much.
Nothing changes.
Yeah. And then, like, he's arguing to starve him out. Don't give him attention, ignore him, starve him out, he'll go away. And then, like, the last minute of his video is literally like a sales pitch of, don't follow Anderson, follow me. And I'm like, what the did I just watch?
Follow me instead, I'm marginally not as bad.
Pretty much.
And there's a really important thing that what the craft pointed out when we were talking was it yesterday, and she said that there's not a lot of Christians that are speaking out against the NIFB, and it's mostly atheists and some pagans. So what? Is there any Christian that speaks out against it? But is there any Christian that are against it? Like, literally, is there some Christian out there?
This one guy.
I could. Well, the only
No. He sometimes agrees with what they're saying or tries to turn it and make it a little bit more innocent. Screw that.
I've talked to him seriously about it. He fucks around a little too much, and it's kind of annoying. But like
the most that I could find is
made videos about like calling. He's made videos where he's put out a call to action, telling people, other Christians, that they need to rebuke what Anderson and all of them say.
Okay, Sharon Q is saying inspiring philosophy did.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I totally forgot about that.
I need to go and check that out, because the most that I could find is we don't agree with him calling for the death penalty. They agree with everything else, but they don't agree with the death penalty aspect of it. And I'm just like, how is that any better?
It's
Yeah.
not really.
Like,
Marginally.
okay, so you don't want us to die, but we're still wrong. Gee, thanks.
I've noticed that a lot of Christians disagree on a variety of points in the Bible, and it's
Oh yeah.
there's even different versions and different translations to support that. And when you start getting like general large points that there is a God of Christianity and there was Jesus, generally there's agreement. But when it gets down to the fine points, people are all over the place.
When I was on my volunteer meeting, I was talking about just a tiny bit of like why it was my first time doing the event, and it's sexual, and it was my first time actually like truly accepting my sexuality. It's the lady that was helping organize it. She says that I still believe in Jesus, and there's a pastor that actually goes around and teaches people that homosexuality isn't a sin, that it's misinterpreted. And okay, but
if I'm remembering correctly, Digital Hammurabi and Skylar Fiction just did a video on that where they go over a lot of the old Hebrew texts and point out how interpretation and stuff.
Yeah, there's like a verse like Leviticus 18:22 talks about homosexuality being a sin, and was it Leviticus chapter 20 or 21? I think it's one of those other two that talks about it too.
The one they really push around is Leviticus 20:13.
Okay, then I either said it was there chapter 20 or 21. Okay, so it's chapter 20. Okay, yeah, that one, and the ones that one is what I hear a lot in Leviticus 18:22.
Well, it seems to me that when they're saying a man shall not lie with another man, that they're targeting specifically male homosexuality.
Well, in Leviticus 18:22 says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, for it is abomination." So in that verse, it's both ways. It's talking about both. Yeah.
I bet we can find the reason for that if we check their Pornhub history.
Yeah,
I had also heard that could be interpreted not as a man lying with a man, but a man lying with a boy. That it was actually more reference to pedophilia.
That point's lost on the Catholic priests.
I'm trying to find that Skylar Fiction video so I could like post it in the chat for everybody.
I mean, the church, it doesn't speak out against pedophilia, more about pedestry than pedophilia, really.
Yeah. The distinction, a lot of people don't get that.
Because the Greeks actually legalized pedestry because a lot of their apprentices would be what's the word? Blowing off steam for the masters of their trades.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, Greeks, and I think I don't know if the Norse did it or not, but the Greeks definitely did have legalized pedestry.
What was age expectancy like back then?
When I was almost became Catholic, and I was remember talking to some church members, and they were we were talking about what was going on, and with priests, and the main excuse, or the only thing that they really said about it was, not all priests are like that, and it's a shame that they went down that road, but we'll pray for them, and God will forgive them. That's basically what was said about them. It was.
Yeah. That's if I've heard them. Anytime I've heard them mentioned by other Christians at all, it's always been well, you can't just let a few bad apples spoil the whole religion. And that's about all they'll say, and then they try to brush it away.
Yeah, it's.
You kind of can brush all of them with that. You kind of can brush through a whole religion with that brush, because the protection for these pedophile priests goes literally all the way to the top.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Well, I mean,
yeah, well, that's the problem. Is when the leader of the religion is not willing to speak it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Pope Francis hasn't done enough. Not by a long shot.
Oh.
Benedict the 16th, the last pope, when he was still Bishop Ratzinger, sent out an edict to all the priests, basically threatening parishioners with excommunication if they spoke out. It really goes to the top in the Catholic Church.
I've
Didn't
seen a
we
quote
start-
of George Pell saying that abortion is a worse moral scandal than priests sexually abusing young people. It's like a failed PR campaign of some sort.
Didn't we
Would you
start
say
to
that
see-
something like
Speaking of pedophiles, did you guys know that Alex Jones got caught distributing child
man.
pornography?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Didn't one
Alex
of the NIFB pastors get hit in April for child molestation?
I have no idea. It might.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't know how surprised I'd be, but I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either, but I don't know about that.
But you know what? I can't. One of the worst excuses and to dismiss all the actual bad things that are happening in this world is when Christians either say love the sinner, hate the sin, or forgive them for no matter what people say or do. I cannot stand that. I used to believe in that. I used to forgive no matter what. Someone could, in this chat right now could have said that they hated me or that I deserved to die, and
Sorry,
I still would have. I would have said, well, I'll be praying for you. I wish you wouldn't think like that, but I'm not mad at you. I forgive you, and I would have been praying for you about to God. And now I just can't stand it because that's all I hear, and it's just a damn excuse.
See, here's the thing, and I do want to go back a little bit and hopefully circle back to the NIFB because the Catholic Church is a takedown for another day. When you brought up this Christian who was telling people to pray for the NIFB, the people in it, the pastors and all that, and that it's not actually a call to action, they consider prayer a call to action. To us, it's doing nothing, and unfortunately, it kind of seems like it's on us to change their minds about that, because prayer really does fuck all. You need to actually get out and do what the atheist community, the pagan community, and whoever else has been going after the NIFB and actually hitting them in the wallet where it hurts. I mean, they've lost at least 3 PayPal accounts. I'm not sure how many others. Their socials are getting taken down almost as quickly as they pop up. That's what works. You actually have to hit them where it counts, and saying just pray for them is going to do none of it.
Here's something pretty interesting about the deplatforming thing. You guys know that YouTube has a policy that if one of your channels gets taken down, you lose all privileges on YouTube, right?
I did not know that.
I have heard such a thing.
So,
yeah, that's a thing. This actually happened to Keemstar, but the way he gets around it is somebody else owns the channel and he just uses it. Anyway, the same thing happened to Stephen Anderson. He has a live stream account that got banned. So if we get enough people to report his Faithful Word Baptist channel or whatever, we can get that shut down pretty easily.
I actually putting in chat.
According to according to my YouTube, Sanderson is live right now.
I'm not totally comfortable with getting people's channels shut down necessarily, because as an advocacy for freedom of expression, like I still want to.
Here's the whole thing with that. Here's the whole thing with that. See, they're advocating for violence, and doing that is not only not protected by the First Amendment, it's also against constitutional law. I have I don't remember the name of it by heart or whatever, but I do have a screenshot that has all that information. I can pull it up.
I agree with that. The concern I have is when people are censored, the long-term effect can be even worse, because if you force people underground, then they don't stop. They just build echo chambers, and then it's like a pressure cooker. Eventually, they explode, and then they come out even worse. And that's the concern I have with it.
I
like
do
the
also.
idea of advocating violence, but I worry about this possibility.
I do also
The
have
way
a
that
comment
they've,
on this,
been able
which is that we don't want. It'd be best to try to make sure that the condemnation of the NFIB members that are advocating for violence and violence to death and all that kind of activity, I think it's important to try to make sure that the condemnation of them doesn't spread beyond them to people who aren't doing the same thing. That people are still able to distance themselves from them and go, okay, I don't want to be part of that. I'm still Christian, if that person is, but I don't want to be part of that. I think it's important to not tar everyone with the same brush and make sure that people can distance themselves from it.
And I think a lot of Christians are used to that by dismissing it as being a different denomination, or dismissing them as extremists. So, this division
Somebody's
seems to be
feedback
kind of natural.
And if I may say something,
Yeah.
real fast. I was in the military, so I did fight for people's rights to, free speech and everything else, which was. But here's my stance on it. Your right to free speech stops when you are impinging on other people's rights and safety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
And so, what the NIFB does, and they've been spreading this shit since I was at least like 17, maybe younger, for years. What they do is they're spreading hatred. They're spreading, these people need to die because they're not like us. Your free speech is now stopped at the point you were saying these people need to die.
Yep, that's advocating for injury or death is a serious problem.
Here's
As-
the reason why deplatforming their YouTubes and their PayPals and all that stuff actually has a huge impact. Sure, they might have 60 to 200 members in every church. By the way, it's now 6 countries and 31 churches. They just landed in New Zealand, which is
It's
kind
not
of
confirmed
terrifying.
they're in New Zealand yet. They are sending somebody
For church
limited
planting.
knowledge. They
Okay,
are
so it's
sending
just like
somebody
Europe
to
then.
confirm the church in Auckland does meet their standards.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
A large part of their funding comes from the 100,000 plus online members that have access to their PayPal and stuff. It's not just the members of the church that actually make up this NIFB cult. Stephen Anderson is considered 4chan's pastor, if that means anything to you guys as well.
There's also 36 churches. Minor correction.
36
quick.
now? What?
Wow, they're growing.
And
Yeah, it's-
about 5 of them are still under the confirmation process.
I was just
Okay.
I just want
You
to
know
join
they're
in
not
there
in
and
Canada,
say,
under
as
confirmation right now.
I
What's
just
that?
want to join in there and say,
Researching
as specifically a freedom of speech and freedom of expression advocate, I think these guys are going too far with it, and that they are directly advocating violence now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you
I
happen to
feel
know?
like it's a step farther than that. It's like governmental, like systemic genocide.
Real quick,
Alright.
somebody had made.
Somebody's trying to ask me a question, and I can't hear the multiple people at once. I'm sorry.
Aaron, I'm just wondering if you happen to know offhand if the church in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, is one of the ones that's under confirmation process right now, or if it has been confirmed.
I think it's still under confirmation,
Okay.
but what they
Random.
do is
I'm
they
not hearing
can't
from them.
send Stephen Anderson to New Zealand because he's actually banned from New Zealand.
He's banned from like 32 countries now. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah,
So they
and you
have
know, he
to
doesn't even
send
care.
an emissary to the country in place of Stephen Anderson to do this purity confirmation test. And I'm like, get a hint, guys. Wanted. So,
And was it Africa, South Africa? They had a whole bunch of petition to I think it was for Stephen Anderson was allowed to come there, but he had to be very careful. He said, I think I read that.
Randolph,
Steven
you,
Anderson's allowed in South Africa and Philippines, but he's under restrictions of what he can say publicly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay.
And I mean, he got banned from Ireland. Ireland is the hardest country on the planet to get banned from.
Yeah, Ireland's been going through a lot of changes lately. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Somebody
you
had
say Ireland's hard
mentioned.
to, you say Ireland's hard to get banned from, but at the same time, Ireland still has blasphemy laws on the book.
Anti-blasphemy laws. Yeah.
You know, and like 2 years ago, they actually took a guy to court for saying he was an atheist.
Wow, 2 years ago.
Was it in
Yeah.
Ireland where they tried to take Stephen Fry to court?
Yeah, they tried to take Stephen Fry to court, but I don't think it stuck.
Yeah,
I remember that
no, it
was
didn't
hilarious.
stick. I remember that, but I couldn't remember where it happened.
It didn't stick with the UN.
Right, just a little comment from over in my chat here. What was going on with, what were the comments on Mike Winger again? Because I didn't quite take in some of that part of the conversation.
He has done a video called Steven Anderson versus the Biblical Gospel.
Okay.
And yeah, go look at the video if you want. Basically, it boils down to he's rebuking what Anderson says, but not necessarily Anderson himself.
Okay. Because
Like
just
the
had
last
a-
minute of the video is, "Don't follow him, follow me, follow me."
All right, fair enough. Now I've just had comments from over in my chat about Mike Winger's position being, I think, all New Testament and just let me find the rest of it. On homosexuality
the
still being a
position-
sin, but not shouldn't be punished by death or anything along those lines. I just wanted to pass that on because it's been specifically requested I do so.
Yeah, that was. His
I haven't seen
position in
I haven't seen this
too,
video, so I'm just
was-
commenting what I'm reading here.
Yeah, that was his position in the video. Homosexuality is still a sin, but if you were to punish all sins that are listed in the Bible with the death punishment, then pretty much everybody in the world would die.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I
his point.
just wanted to check that that we're on the same page with what was being said there, because there were comments in my chat just talking about whether we were representing it accurately. Okay, thanks everyone.
Okay. And real quick, Randolph, you had mentioned that something about they look at it as, oh, that's a different denomination, that's not us.
Well,
I
I've heard
literally-
Christians talk like that, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking that could happen, right?
I
That's
literally
something
saw.
I'm hearing from some Christian friends that I still have. So like, well, that's not us. That's a different denomination. I'm like, here's the issue. That's still under your umbrella. That something needs to be done. So I have some friends who are actively trying to do something now about the NIFB.
Good.
I did see a video last night, and I believe it was an IFB church, not an NIFB church. And hopefully somebody in the Hangout can help me out with the exact verse, but they referenced a verse in the Bible that alluded to getting mixed up in the drama of another church is like taking an angry dog by the ear. You're going to get bit. Don't do it.
Yeah, there's a Bible verse about that. I don't think it quite applies.
I don't agree with them at all, but somebody had kind of touched on that point, so I wanted to say, yeah, there's a YouTube video out there that makes that exact point.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't remember exactly what verse you're talking about, but I know they're really big on not allowing their members to have any access to non-cult sources of information, and they claim that all these other churches that aren't NIFB are run by reprobates who are just trying to turn people away from Christ or whatever, which is kind of fucking ridiculous. But
I've heard they're quite proactive in calling out other churches that they disagree with, so I guess that's part of their way of maybe recruiting more. Maybe possibly
this is actually how they first got their feet on the ground. Anderson's big thing, and this was actually something the old IFB would do as well. when he stepped foot in Tempe, he would go to other churches and record like some of their doctrinal beliefs and whatever, and then he'd go out and make a DVD rebuking that person and then distributing it to the members of the church in hopes that he can grab people around and turn people away from it. They still do that now, actually, which is pretty far out there, but
Well, in talking about Byte model and NIFB and stuff, in watching Steven Anderson, if someone within his own congregation questions him, he kicks them out.
I can't.
yeah.
He tells them,
Sometimes
he literally
with
tells them to get the fuck out of his church.
Yeah, sometimes he has this like little I think they're called like brothers, people that are just a step up above the regular members. They'll like manhandle these people and like throw them
They will-
across the room and
They'll drag them out of the church.
Yeah, there's a problem there when your church needs to have bouncers.
Right?
that's essentially what they are.
I'm only on my I can't. I'm only on my second mug of coffee, and I still can't deal with this.
Yeah, I'm having a problem dealing with this because it's the middle of the afternoon, and I can't deal with NIFB level of stupidity and hate while I'm sober, and it's too early to be drinking that much.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's too early? It's 5 o'clock still.
It's alright, we're into drinking time over here, I'm
Just
fine.
take a nap when you come down. You'll feel fine.
Yeah.
I think
If
I'm
there's
gonna-
ever a reason to drink,
just
the
kidding.
NIFB is a reason to drink.
Sassy, I'm sending you a
Cheers.
message.
Cheers to everyone.
I'm gonna stay silent. I have nothing to say. I just don't.
And if anybody's curious, I just posted, link to a Guardian article about on the blasphemy law. Last year, 2018, for anyone watching in the future, the referendum had 4.85% vote to remove the blasphemy law. So,
Please don't
You okay
die.
there, Sassy?
she's choking on coffee. She'll be fine in a second. I do it all the time.
No, I'm
Coffee.
I'm
Steady
I
on
have
there.
to grab more coffee. I will be right back.
Who said what to me?
I think you need another brand of coffee.
Is it getting hot? It's getting hot in my room.
Whoop.
I don't know. Maybe you have the same trouble I do with like the single cup coffee makers and grounds get into the coffee.
I don't
And
drink coffee.
scratches up your throat. I have that.
Annoying.
Single.
Some people call me blasphemous for saying this, but I don't drink coffee.
Blasphemer.
Oh, steady on.
I'm the unbeliever.
That proves the point, doesn't it?
I hate coffee so much. I'm one of those lame people that drinks 2 energy drinks a day.
Oh,
I don't
Jesus.
have energy drinks. No.
Turn you down.
I'm British, you see, so it's all about the tea over here.
No.
I'm not supposed to be drinking coffee. I cannot have energy drinks. I'm not supposed to be really having caffeine.
I can't. Oh my god.
I've never been able to stand the taste of coffee. I'm with the Britishers. I've just got tea.
Yeah,
I'm really having caffeine.
we're all about the
I've had this
tea over
really
here.
I'm into Chinese tea.
I've had this really bad caffeine addiction for like going on 10 years now, and if I don't have one, I get really bad headaches.
Coffee puts me to sleep.
So I developed a
not-
caffeine addiction while in the military, and then while towards the very end of the military, I got diagnosed with something that affects my heart and cardiovascular system. And they're like, no more caffeine.
I've tried it.
The problem,
It's too hard.
you know, the thing with me is that I
No
can't
cigarettes.
get, hyper off of coffee. Well, normally, but there was this one time I was at work and one of the guys who was working there brought coffee and donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. And I can't stand just drinking their coffee without anything, so I put like 11 packs of sugar in, and I was wired. Like, you think I'm wired now? You don't want to see me when I put sugar packets in. Because I normally just put creamer, like half of it's like creamer.
All right.
Put, like, this much milk, like, quarter of a teaspoon of sucralose, because I can't have sugar.
That's a
some
lovely
cinnamon.
cup, by the way, Aaron.
Oh, thank you.
It's got badgers on it.
I fill about, hold on, my coffee, because I have a Keurig machine, so it goes up to like about, maybe, like about that, the rest of it is creamer.
Mine goes to about here.
How do you get on coffee again?
I do have a little. Before we get back, I do have a quick story for you.
Probably had coffee at the straight parade.
Yeah. before we get back to the terrible stuff. Before we get back to the terrible stuff, I do have a quick drink story for you.
Let that go.
So, I don't have sugar in my tea, but whenever I'm around at a particular friend's place, he always puts sugar in my tea because he's a dickhead. So, I'm around the place. If you're listening, Dave, that's so. Yeah, I'm round his place, drinking the tea, and he goes to make a cup of tea, and he puts in like 15 spoons of sugar as he always does, and I was a bit tired that day. And I just look up, I take a sip, and I look up at him and I go, "There's sugar in this," and he goes, "Yep." Then I drank it, and suddenly I had a massive sugar rush, just went hyper for like a minute, and then passed out.
I can't stand tea. I did blueberry cheesecake tea and strawberry cheesecake tea.
Slytherin is just your online personality, Aaron.
I can run with the sugar rush. If I've got enough chocolate and soda, when I do the gaming conventions, I don't have to sleep for 3 days.
That's better than meth.
I mean, I'm in the position where I'm not supposed to be having caffeine, and caffeine does cause heart palpitations, but I'm just like, I'm gonna die one day, it's gonna be fine.
That's how I feel.
Oh.
If I die, I'm gonna die happy.
If I die, I'm going to die with a cup of coffee in my system, and I'll be fine.
Right, to Mark Caesar.
You don't even know.
To Mark Caesar in the chat.
Man, my kids woke up.
To Mark Caesar in the chat.
I'm not supposed to be having coffee. And coffee
I am a proponent.
If I die, I'm gonna die with a cup of coffee in my blood.
Oh, outstanding.
Okay.
To Mark Caesar in the chat, I am a proponent of the milky tea. Yes.
Yes, that's the only way to have tea.
Like
Creamer
my Earl Grey right
and or
here,
milk.
I will have milk in. My British breakfast or anything, I'll have milk in. But herbal teas, no.
I don't think you're supposed to put milk in the herbal teas.
So I'm wondering if anybody here went to the straight parade like as a protest. Anybody did that?
I thought that wasn't until like October or something.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet. Okay, I thought it was.
It's happened in some places. It's happened in Oklahoma. They've had one, which consisted of. I think the only picture that I've seen of the Oklahoma one, they had 3 dudes show up. Like, there was like 3 people in the picture.
Being on completely the wrong continent, I won't be showing up to the straight parade now.
One of the guys that like fucking is running the straight pride parade or whatever is like known for hanging out with Proud Boys and being violent at all these like protests and stuff.
Okay.
It's fucked up, man. Like, so, he's a straight up white supremacist.
Have there been have there been incidents of violence at any of the ones that have happened so far?
Not that I've seen.
Probably not.
Yet.
Okay. But I'm assuming at this big one that everybody's been publicizing, there's going to be a large Proud Boy presence. And if you don't know anything about them, they're kind of like a domestic terrorist group that's known for like beating the crap out of LGBTQ people.
Oh
For
no, that's not a good recipe.
no.
Please.
Yeah, I was actually worried with the NIFB thing that they would try to plant people in the protest crowd just to strike up violence.
I will be right back again. I just got summoned.
Yeah, that is a military strategy, in fact.
Yeah, I
They-
mean, well, all they needed was one guy wearing a rainbow T-shirt to throw a rock, and then they've got an excuse to start shooting at him.
Yep.
You know, we
to
don't
see this
have.
birth history for the guys and even the women showing up to Straight Pride Parade, to be honest.
It would be great if
Because
people could just be
I want to see
nice.
their porn history. Like, I want to see their porn history.
I'll look at the porn section at Home Depot.
If we can take my personal history as anecdotal evidence here, even though anecdotal is like the weakest form there is, I was about as anti-gay as you got as a Catholic, but if you looked up my porn history, wealth of lesbian porn
I'm pansexual, so you can't use my history for anything.
Oh yes, me too, girl. Oh no. Oh. Oops.
Now,
Oops.
Freudian slip there.
I'm not going to tell you a damn thing about my porn history because that's my private personal business. But I will tell you.
Oh no, I'm shirts full of pumpkins.
I showed you mine, Badger. You
What
showed
did I miss?
But I will tell you that
I want
it.
to say how I hate how people use fucking virtue signaling as a pejorative for anybody that has like a fucking decent human being opinion. Like LGBTQ people should be able to have their existence. It's fucking ridiculous. You got people in here like
they're trying to
Somebody on the radio.
thing. I think that's the point behind it, is they're trying to silence you. Like, no, just shut up and let me say these awful things I want to say without interruption.
A few years ago, they were talking about, on the radio a few years ago, they were talking about advertising networks in the pornography industry. And the person they were talking to is saying that one of the big demographics is people in Vatican City are actually look at a lot of porn sites.
Oh yeah, the more the more restricted the area is to being able to express their sexuality, the higher the rate of watching porn.
And curiosity,
Sounds about
etc. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, on Pornhub, Utah is the state with the highest number of hits.
Yep.
And they have a lot of children there too, I understand. Huh.
And like
I'm
real
actually one of
quick,
those weird people who has never been to a porn site ever.
real quick.
Who hasn't
You mean you're not subscribed to my channel?
what? Everybody in the chat subscribe to Purple Rhymes with Orange right now.
What the heck have I subscribed to? I should probably look at his
I've
videos at some
actually
point,
like
or maybe
no,
not.
I've just legitimately just never really watched porn. It doesn't do anything to me. So it's like, eh.
Really?
Love that indignation there.
because I'm gonna lose my thought. Because yeah.
Because this is an
But
exciting
Make the rain. Hey.
oh Lord. Okay. Back to what AR was mentioning about the virtue signaling thing that kind of triggered a thought with me with like the thing that really irritates me here lately is this concept of free speech that a lot of people have that doesn't, it's like free speech, hold on, I gotta get my words together. Okay, they take free speech as free speech without consequences. Like they tack on that extra little bit, and yeah, you've got free speech, but that does not mean you're free from the consequence of what you say.
Like James
And then
Bond.
as soon as
always
anybody
takes a kind of
criticizes
attitude.
them, like legitimately, they're like, "No, you're just trying to silence me." I'm like, "No, I'm fucking criticizing you."
Right.
It's almost like they think they're James Bond with a license to kill.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's not how
you,
that
yeah, you
works.
have free speech, but so do I, and this is what I have to say about what you just said. Like it or
I have
lump
to-
it. Like,
Yeah.
I have
Well, the
something.
point-
There's a chat. Someone
I
in the
wanna
chat
point-
called.
There was a great
point of-
debate on this recently, actually. Any of you guys know who Vosh is? He's pretty
Yes.
far left, but he's great. We had a debate with Hunter Avalon just a few days ago where they go over speech policing, and it's beautiful. You guys should really check it out. They go
The
over
point-
like the whole Kevin Hart jokes
yeah.
or whatever.
The point of free
speaking of
speech.
joking, freedom of expression and Pornhub and whatnot, I think for the pornography industry, free speech has to go 3 ways.
Why only 3?
The point
More
of
the
free
merrier.
speech. The point of free
Like,
speech
why
is
are we
that.
limited to 3? I'm confused.
I'm going to get this sentence out at some point this evening. The point of free speech is that the government's not supposed to come and arrest you for saying things unless you're directly inciting violence. It's not to say that people can't then say, no, that's bullshit, and you're wrong.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. As long as it's not some official organization that's doing it, you know, it's
Question.
not an issue.
Question. Has anyone seen elderly porn?
Nope.
No.
I don't
Yes,
know.
and I'm
But I
trying
don't
not to
know
remember it.
thing.
I tell you, the topics.
Anyway,
I tell you, the subtopics being inspired by the NIFB here. I'm really wondering about this cult.
I really gotta object to the use of elderly and ask for an age specification because I'm almost 40, so I need some clarification on this.
I'm in denial about my aging, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you know
Exactly.
what?
No.
There's been multiple times where I've seen someone drive by with a sticker that says, I love midget porn. I'm not kidding.
I've seen that before. I've seen that. I've seen that.
Why did you say that?
Well, there might be a little bit of it in Game of
Right
Thrones.
next to that, it says baby on board. That'd be terrible.
the things I am learning about porn, I'm just like,
I know there's part of me. Okay.
Well,
I'm having
if-
an argument
Here
with
to talk about
myself
NIFB.
at the moment. I'm
If
having an
you-
argument with myself at the moment because I kind of want to bring it back to the NIFB, but
Yeah.
I'm also realizing how offended they would be that the video is titled that it's about them, but we're discussing porn. I don't know what the best option is here.
I feel
If
like
you-
they just take this, clip it out, and use it for their propaganda.
Yeah.
that's what they honestly would do, because they'd just be like, and they would clip out all the parts where it's like, I'm laughing, that's the parts they would keep, but they would clip out all the parts where I explicitly mentioned that I don't actually watch it. Because, you know,
Yeah.
Well, if
does
you like,
nothing
Aaron,
sexy
if you
and
like,
comes with
I
that.
couldn't.
We have to bring the topics back together, so obviously
couldn't-
we need to discuss pumpkin porn.
I could invite you round to my burrow.
Yeah, with an emphasis on regional.
If you like, Aaron, I could invite you round to my burrow for a trip down Porn Lane.
Well, I mean, you know, tentacle porn is a big thing, but now with the pumpkins, we have to deal with vine porn.
Wait. Okay, is vine porn and tentacle porn, are they connected?
It could be.
okay,
They are
Vine
both
porn is tentacle porn.
Why not both at the same
vegetarians.
time?
They both
And
involve
I'm
wrapping
not gonna
things
do both
up.
at the
So
same time.
They're both hung.
they both involve wrapping things up and curling things round
I can
things.
give
So
you
yes,
a
they
full
can
detailed
be.
history of how tentacle porn actually became a thing.
Wait, what?
That sounds a perfect subtopic for the
Honestly,
NIFB.
you should really turn that into a video or something. I'm sure that will
No,
get lots of
There's
clicks.
already a video of how tentacle porn came to be a thing. That's
Oh,
already
well.
on YouTube.
I know what I'm going to be looking up
Damn.
later.
Okay, I have to admit to a morbid curiosity.
Somebody
on
send
how
that
this
to me,
ever
please.
became popular, but
I'm assuming.
Could somebody
I know
send-
Badger said.
Right. Could somebody send me that video also and a lot of examples of what they mean?
I knew that was coming.
Two things. One, Soft Girls slowly in the chat says purple rhymes with porn.
There you go.
And two, Badger said that he wasn't going to tell anyone, what his history. I bet you has a lot of pumpkins in it.
There you
go. Maybe.
I did not know that pumpkins could be sexy until that website showed up.
Before we
I'm
move
still-
on,
questioning
I gotta get
things.
going. I have to watch my nephew. So thanks for having me, and I'll see you all later. All right?
It was
Thanks
fun.
for being
Okay,
on.
well,
See you later, zib-zub.
Wow, that's quite next. Oh, we lost 2 here. Oh, there's
Ange back again.
I think just kind of froze for a second. I'm sorry.
I am still waiting
Sure.
for this picture that I am still waiting for this picture that I'm currently using
I
to
put it
appear
in
on
the
that
chat.
Pumpkin McMurtry website.
Oh. I put the his
Yeah, I
Christmas,
see him
everybody.
there. Yeah.
This went from talking about I said it. I knew it was gonna get so.
Yep, just,
I
you're
knew
trying
it.
to say. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's gone from hate to love.
Exactly.
Tentacle
They're
love.
so like the NIFB is so vile and vicious. You can only talk about them for so long without going to a happy topic with a happy ending.
Need a happy medium.
Mark Caesar just posted the pumpkin porn for you as well.
Excellent.
Some of the pictures in there are extra spicy.
Some of the pictures in there make you question your sexuality.
Definitely.
Richard Atheist ripped a bunch of pictures from that, and he got like a stream. I mean, one of his streams taken down for like nudity or whatever.
Fetish.
Pictures from there.
It got
Well,
taken
you're
down
all
for
safe.
fetish.
You're all safe because I'm covered in fur, so we're fine.
What?
That could be interpreted in many, many ways.
Fucking
Wait,
that
man, how
can be
did they
taken
take
in
down a stream
many,
for a
many
fetish?
dark paths.
What?
How did they take down a stream for a fetish when virtually everything can be a fetish?
There
That's the
are
issue. Everything
It
BDSM
depends on what the
streams
fetish is.
all over YouTube.
Mass
They're-
flagging. That's
Yeah.
basically how it works. If you get enough people to flag like your video or whatever, it can get taken down for like bullshit, basically.
Yeah, because there's educational BDSM channels that have no issues at all.
But
That
they're
have all
really
kinds of fetish
educational.
stuff.
Could you possibly link me to these?
The BDSM stuff?
Sure.
Yes. And
Search BDSM on YouTube and go down the rabbit hole. You'll enjoy it.
Have a blast.
I think there's more than one rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I think there are
Yeah.
many rabbit holes.
Some of them have rabbits too.
Well, actually, there's a site called collarme.com. That's where I met my fiance.
ooh.
I don't know what that is.
I wish I had known about that. I met my husband on Facebook.
I'm not married.
Well, since becoming active in this whole online discussion business, people have started actually talking to me about things. So this is great.
It's once you jump into the once you jump into being active against the Abrahamic faiths and being active against them trying to implement a theocracy, you realize normal people exist that are totally okay with their sexuality, and you learn so much.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's like
there's so many different interests that people have.
Yeah.
my channel actually started a divide between me and my ex-husband, so it was one of the issues we had.
Oh,
But AR
that's not too bad.
probably knows how well my ex-husband existed as a human being anyway,
I know a little bit about it.
with him
You're not
being
the
a Russian
ex-husband, are you?
Orthodox.
He was Russian Orthodox? Okay, I had no fucking idea about that.
Oh,
Honestly. Wow.
they're the ones with the onion churches, aren't they?
I knew.
I will say their churches are really pretty.
Yeah, they've got like the
From an
onion-shaped
architectural,
roofs.
like artistic standpoint, they're really pretty.
I just remember that he was like really controlling and then like told you couldn't make videos or talk to people, which is kind of fucked up.
Well,
Like,
remember,
you shouldn't exert that kind of control on people ever.
Well, if
there's a
anybody's
lot more
trying to
to it, but
control who
that's
you're
where
allowed to
I
talk to,
did it.
you need to get away from that person.
What were you saying, Aaron?
There's a lot more to it that happened behind the scenes, but that's not for like public square.
Makes sense.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, private matters, yeah. I guess I'm wondering if for this October NIFB Straight Pride Prank event coming up.
It's not an NIFB thing.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
an IFB. It's Make America Happy Again or some shit.
No,
So is it
he's
looking
talking
like-
about the Straight Pride Parade.
You know,
Does
I'm
that
talking
look
about
like
the group who's holding it.
Does it look like it's going to be? Is there an expectation there's going to be a lot of people there?
Well,
Not
it's
to
a
my
matter of
knowledge.
whose expectation.
So,
It's getting publicized like it's gonna have a lot of people there, but
the Pride Parade
know.
here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, we have the streets are packed. The whole downtown is just completely forget traffic, not happening. So it's a sea of people. I wouldn't even know where to begin to count how many people are there. I've heard estimates of 500,000, but so it's a major thing that's been going on here year after year. Our whole family goes each year. But
I'm
yeah,
not going to the
Who's
Pride
doing
here in my area just because I saw the venue and it's not very
what the?
accessible.
There's an echo, and also somebody's like phone is doing this.
But the Pride here is just not very accessible for me to get into. So,
oh, okay.
and
What
then there's going
I'm-
to be a lot of people that's going to screw with my hearing.
What I can't figure out is the Grand Marshal for the Straight Pride Parade is a gay man. I can't figure out if he's trolling them
He's a
or
token.
I hope he's trolling them. I really do.
I hope so. That would be beautiful.
Isn't Milo like a part of this now? You know.
Well,
Holy
I
fuck.
heard, like, I read a statement that he had made that was something along the lines of, like, men drag your women by their hair to the parade and women burn your briefcases or something.
Oh.
I may be misquoting it. I can't remember exactly, but it's something along those lines. I know that it was women burn your briefcases.
Why?
So, like, I couldn't figure out if he was trolling or being serious.
I mean,
Why
if he's rolling with that
briefcases?
crowd, he might be serious. I mean, Milo Yiannopoulos is pretty extreme, and he's gay too, right? He's just a token for like all that right wing ideology.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, look at Jesse Lee Peterson. He's like a black white supremacist, right?
Oh,
Wow, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. It is a very interesting scenario with Jesse Lee Peterson.
don't
He's
get me
something
started
else.
on him. Don't
I
get
noticed-
me started on him.
I noticed a lot of these like people who follow Anderson also kind of watch Jesse Lee Peterson religiously as well.
Religiously.
It's starting to come to light that Jesse Lee Peterson may be NIFB, but we're not quite sure yet. So that's
I know. I was gonna say that he did interview Steven Anderson.
He was talking. It was a while back, talking to Jacqueline Glenn. It was like an interview.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
And he was saying how he was asking her this question, like, why do you think it's wrong for siblings to get married?
At which point, I remember this, and Jacqueline Glenn was like, what?
Yeah, I watched the whole entire thing, and I'm like, are you serious? You're
Jacqueline,
I think
Jacqueline Glenn may not be like great for like some things, but there are some things I will say Jacqueline Glenn is good on, and I still watch her content. There are some things that's like I need to hear other viewpoints. I don't want to echo chamber myself. But then there are some points where it's like, I can get behind Jacqueline Glenn, and I can look at her and go, okay, that's fine. Like when she's very public about this, when she did her breath augmentation, and she very, like,
Screaming
this was for me.
Yeah, probably shouldn't say that thing.
I agree with I agree with Jack and Glenn on good amount of things, but probably shouldn't say this on live stream, but in my opinion, she's acts like a snob sometimes. Like she'll always promote her stuff, her channel and her videos, and hey, always support me on Patreon, but yet she doesn't like to interact with her fans or people that look up to her, unless she's getting paid.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't do. Oh my god, that's true.
Sometimes
a lot of the big YouTubers that I know of or I've met, I'm sorry guys, you are completely snobs a lot of times. You really need to stop being snobs when it comes to people that really look up to you and want and try to share their story if you inspire them, or just to say nice things about you, or ask you questions, or want to collaborate with you on something. Respond. Why do you have to? It's just ridiculous to ignore everyone who looks up to you and supports you, and then ask and have the nerve to turn around and ask them to support you on Patreon or to support your YouTube channel. I'm sorry.
I think it can.
I'm sorry. 98% of what comes out of Jacqueline Glenn's mouth, but I still listen because it's like, she still does have a voice, and it gives you the opinions to sit there and formulate your own opinions and look at information and grow as a person.
I think once channels get beyond a certain size, it becomes very difficult to respond to everyone who comes to them with something. But I have great respect for the people who still make an effort anyway.
Great skeptic.
Oh, hello.
Hi. You driving?
He's a car theist now.
I did have another Jacqueline.
Safe and keeping your eyes on the road.
I did have another Jacqueline Glenn comment.
Keeping my eyes on the road on this hot sunny day may not be good for my eyes.
So my favorite thing about that whole Jesse Lee Peterson Jacqueline Glenn interview was when he asks Jacqueline Glenn, he's like, "So you don't look like an atheist." She's all like, "What does an atheist look like?" "Oh, Satan."
Okay.
Wait. I thought pagans had the claim on looking like Satan. I thought that was our thing.
Come on.
So I came out as an atheist, like one of my old jobs, and one of the first responses I got was like, "But you're so nice," and I was like,
"Thank you."
And there's like, "And you dress so conservatively," and I was like, "What?"
It's an attempt to vilify atheists, is what it is. And
I just had to ask him what he meant, and he was like, "Oh, well, you have people who, just wear like these low-cut tank tops and just have their privates hanging out." And I was like,
"That's not how it works."
I like my I like to be presentable in a certain light, and that's just how I present myself, and how other people present themselves has no bearing on how I present myself, because we share the same religious viewpoint or lack of religion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of the attitudes that we're trying to counter here with Canadian Atheists. I've set up a series of what I call intellectual safety tips on the website, canadianatheist.ca/tip. We got about 60 or so in there, and it just kind of lists off all the things that atheism is not. And we have a separate meme kind of image people can share around for each one of those. So it is a common thing that seems to go around.
Oh my god.
Ah!
The lag on that, though.
Oh,
Satan's trying to make his way in.
So, about
They're the same.
But
Also,
yeah,
I just want to point
when
out
it
real quick
comes
that I think it's
to-
really a no true Scotsman fallacy that we all don't look like R and Raw.
Although that would be pretty cool. But
I wouldn't mind looking
Yeah,
like
I
Aaron
really
Ra.
I don't know. I
jealous
feel
of
like the
orange
answer
hair.
to a thing
that would be pretty cool if we all did look like Aaron Raw.
you were talking, so I shut up. Yeah, I feel like the answer to a single question has no bearing on how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Honestly, I
wouldn't-
don't think an answer to a single question makes you fit in almost any label whatsoever. Even.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny because not only does it not make you fit like a certain look, it doesn't even make you fit a specific stereotype of like, again, any label. Like atheist is one where depending on the definition of atheist that you're referring to, a single answer will do. But feminism, depending on what kind of feminist you are, you may have to check 30 boxes or 1 or 2.
Yeah, we regard atheism as a very simple classification of just not believing in deities. That's it. It covers everybody who is either taking position or not taking position. It makes it very simple and straightforward the way we see it.
I do have quite a good vision now, though, of an entire army of cloned Aaron Ras.
I have a love-hate relationship with labels because they're a way to communicate like concise information, but then people want to stick you into this box of what that label is to them. And it's like, wait, hold on. Let me rattle off my 25 labels, and then you can figure out where I fit.
Yeah, that's
they help us
overused. Yeah.
Well, it's, at the time I met Steven Anderson, I was still Wiccan. And Steven Anderson wasn't aware of this at first, was like, oh, you're a woman, let me find you a husband that fits our church.
Oh, God.
Oh,
great.
I'm
Did he even
17
know if
years
you were
old.
married?
Jeebus on a cracker.
You really should have taken that offer. It would have been. It could have ended up great, Really?
And then when
have to
Steven
deal
Anderson
with
is
Tinder,
Wiccan,
right?
he's like, oh, you're a reprobate and you're going to hell. And I just want to mention, at 8 years old, I was baptized with the IFB at one point. So I still fit their once saved, always saved narrative.
Well, that's convenient.
Is the IFB just as bad about like getting
So you
their
can do what you
women
like,
married
then?
and having children before
Yeah.
they're saved?
They're just as bad, yeah.
So if
Wait,
you were
Aaron.
baptized, you can do what you like then.
Pretty much.
Hey.
Aaron, have you seen the Sabrina series on Netflix? Like, are you saying you're Sabrina? You were like, you had a Wiccaning and you had a baptism. Like, are you Sabrina?
Apparently, no, so my family history is very complicated. My biological parents were Wiccan, but my biological mother's sister is my adopted mom, and they're IFB, new IFB.
Oh.
And my great grandmother, when I was 8 years old, bribed me with ice cream so I would get baptized so she could save my soul.
That's all it takes. That's all God needs.
Yeah, that's a real good motivation.
It's a
there.
liberal application
all
of
guys?
ice
I
cream.
was a kid. I was like, ice cream, yeah.
So the new IFB doesn't say you need to get baptized in order to be saved. Is that just an IFB thing then? Old IFB?
That is a old IFB thing. However, the new IFB doesn't put out very publicly, but that is something they still want as well.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say, I thought the whole
I know they keep
part-
tabs of how many baptisms they have and how many people they get saved.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
very
so-
confused because I thought the whole point of the Baptist, regardless of what Baptist denomination, was the baptism. So the NIFB doesn't do that?
Oh, they baptized.
The new
okay.
IFB does,
Well,
yeah, but like
wait a
it's
minute.
not seen as a requirement for salvation or whatever in their
If
doctrine.
they go with the once saved, always saved, then if you're baptized in the NIFB and then you go out and have gay sex with a couple hundred people, you're okay, right?
That's how that works.
As long as it's only
wow,
a
that's
couple
a goal.
hundred people.
That's a
See
big
what-
goal there.
If you start doing that, they'll claim that you weren't saved in the first place and that you went down that whole reprobate.
Yeah.
Moving the
Yeah.
goalposts.
They have ways of getting around it.
I'll go down that hole rapidly.
If,
But
if
the
you
whole
guys
baptism
haven't
thing. But the whole
um,
baptism.
sorry, go ahead.
Because I'm a badger, we burrow, so I live underground.
But no, technically, by their NIFB standards, though, had I not come out as, you know, what I am, I would still be saved and go to heaven. But because I came out as pansexual and everything, they're like, no, you are no longer saved. Goodbye.
Basically, yeah.
Like, I'm glad I wasn't part of one of their congregations when I came out, because had I have been, I would have been like, okay, cool. So I'm taking Bob, Sue, Louise. I would just start naming people and be like, cool, we're all gone, right? Because, you know, I'm just gonna like run down the list of people in the congregation that I have slept with.
Did you guys never? Did you guys?
At the time, let's get this straight. At the time of my baptism, I was Wiccan.
Did they know? I guess not.
Okay,
I'm
I've
not aware of this.
asked
I've never been baptized. Ever. I've never been baptized ever in my life. My two siblings, they were when they were babies, but they're not religious. And so and then I kept changing my mind back and forth of when I wanted to become baptized because different Christians kept telling me, or I kept reading different things. Like 1 minute someone says you have to be baptized to be saved, then I would read and then they're like, no, you don't. If your faith alone saves you. So I was completely conflicted with what I wanted to do. And also with another baptism story was that for so long, I was very worried about my deceased family members' salvation because the ones that died were Catholic, and I remember I was a Christian, and someone told me that no, Catholics will not go to heaven because they believe in works that will get you to heaven rather than faith. So the whole time, ever since for a while, I was constantly begging God to please have mercy on them, to please save them, and to love them, and to just bring them to heaven, because they did believe in Him. They do believe in you. They didn't do works. They believed in faith, and it messed with my head with that. I was so worried, and then I realized later on that it's not true with that person. So, I mean, there's just so many different Christians that believe different things, and every single person claims that they're right, and it's just
Yep.
It's more probable that they're all wrong than they're all right.
All right.
Anyways, I really don't think you should mention that to Ricky Gantz. That you haven't been baptized.
I don't really care what he says, because honestly, I'm
just trying to grind your gears. It's okay.
All right.
No,
Question.
it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't care what he says, because all he's gonna say is blah blah blah. You need to be saved.
Jesus.
Blah blah blah.
Jesus.
All right. Question from over in my chat, people. Who is the one with the moustache?
That must be me.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's
Randall.
you. Yes.
Yeah, he's got a better mustache than me. So.
Oh. Thanks.
Matt.
No, thank you.
Matt. I got
So
a
who are
message
you?
for you. Christy says, "Hi, honey. Please tell Matt Christy loves you." He's not looking at the chat.
Oh yeah, I can only do one at a time on my phone. So thank you for letting me know. I love you, Christy.
So who are you, Randolph?
I'm Randolph Richardson. I'm the founding president of the Canadian Atheists, and I am actually lately trying to arrange with the NIFB to do a conversation / debate that's live and gets published on YouTube. They haven't responded to my request so far. At this point, I just
Well, the
assume that
NIFB
they're
is focusing
probably.
on screwing over Raging Atheist right now. I don't know if y'all have noticed that.
What are they doing
Who
with
is what?
Raging Atheist?
I've been watching. Well,
Matt Powell?
there's a lot of stuff going on with the whole Raging Atheist thing. First, Matt Powell doxed him, and now he got Facebook messages sent his way containing death threats against him and his daughter, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not hearing stuff like that. Yeah.
And now, what's it called? They're like false flagging his channel. He just got like a video removed for fetishism, which is kind of ridiculous. And trolls are constantly going into his chat, spewing like their anti-LGBTQ rhetoric and calling everyone reprobates and, you know,
Because I think
Jewish
if they can
slurs,
take
all
down, they'll
that
take down the
drunk.
whole atheist community is the
okay.
logic right now.
Right,
For some reason,
Randolph.
Raging Atheist did a rather funny one yesterday, just about a troll that was coming at him who was so incompetent at trolling that it was funny.
Yeah,
I saw
remember
that.
That was
That
good.
was funny. Yeah.
I have to
I
check
did
that
not
one
see
out.
that yet.
I kind of
Right.
There's
I missed something about what somebody was saying about Mr. Raging Atheist getting screwed over. Is it the NIFB doing that?
Yeah.
Yup.
Oh,
I think it's them
Because I
and
think if
Matt
they take down the
Powell.
Raging Atheist, they'll take down the whole atheist community.
oh, okay.
Is that led by, like, is Matt Powell leading that, or is that speculation that he is, or have we
No, Matt
confirmed
Powell.
Powell-
that.
All I know for
I
certain
wouldn't
is he
say
did a
Matt
debate
Powell
with
is
Matt
leading
Powell.
it. Yeah, I wouldn't say
Look.
Matt Powell is leading it, but he's got the attention of their their members because of that science falsely so-called propaganda film that Matt Powell released.
Right, Randolph.
Oh.
Yeah, there's
For
that.
you, someone in my chat says Susan says hi. Apparently, might know you from somewhere.
Oh, hi, Susan. I think I know her from a conversation debate I had with Josh Brister and the Red Pill Religion people a few months ago.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta see this.
Oh, I'll,
Yeah,
I'll have to see this.
please.
yeah. If you look up my name on YouTube, on Google, and also Josh Brister, it should come up right away. It
Perfect.
went for almost 3 hours, and I found it to be quite a nice, enjoyable debate. I got the impression that they've had some bad experiences with some debates with atheists in the past, so I didn't find it to be bad at all. I found it quite enjoyable.
He still claims to have like a 420-0 record, which I think is hilarious. 'Cause he's lost every single debate, but he still has to throw a meme out there because he's one
Yeah.
of those weird people.
Well,
To be honest, I wouldn't mind having a chat with him. I just don't have like the time at the moment to properly prepare for a debate or anything like that.
His Twitter persona and his like debate persona are completely different.
Yeah. When I watched
Yeah,
one of his
Randolph.
debates, when I watched one of his
Randolph, can we
debates,
get
he
the,
was just
link
kind
to
of
your
doing.
webpage there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's to my YouTube channel.
Well, I know you've got your webpage that's got a whole list of resources and brief descriptions about a lot of channels.
That's a different site. That's the Atheist Frontier. So www.atheistfrontier.com. I'll just post it in the chat as well.
Yeah.
When I watched
Atheist
one of
Rationale. I had. Ask a question real quick. Atheist Rationale. What would you say that like people that are watching the stream and trying to figure out about NIFB and what they can do to help, what would you say would be helpful for like what you're doing and what other content creators are doing? What do you guys need from us?
Honestly, the best way to help right now would probably be to contact KC or Shannon Q. We have an email set up. I believe it's anti-NIFB movement@gmail.com. You could email that address, obviously, and ask what you can do to help. We have a lot of, we've given people like assigned churches, and every Sunday or whatever, we're asking people to comb through their sermons and then get timestamps of anything that might be deemed relevant to the movement. You know,
These are
calls for
sermons placed
violence,
up online, are they?
extreme rhetoric, that kind of junk. And other ways to help is, you know, if we're putting out a call to action in a video or on Twitter, just to like follow that. Like right now, Mr. Atheist.
Share it around.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Atheist, for instance, just retweeted something that I put out about a week ago. We're currently trying to get Tommy McMurtry's YouTube channel shut down. And
it has one more strike right now.
yeah, he just needs one more, and that he just needs one more, and he's gone.
Right. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Atheist Rationale, you're on Twitter, I guess. Maybe connect with me. I own the domain names nifb.ca and nifb.net, so perhaps that can be helpful in this as well.
That's beautiful. Thank you for grabbing those domains.
Take a look at the webpage there. It's fun. I call them the naughty IFB.
Fucking great.
That's beautiful.
Let's have a look.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
But you and I, Randolph, we've been talking on Twitter, so...
Yeah, you look familiar to me, so... Okay.
You look familiar to me as well, Mr. Rationale, but I'm fairly certain you're not who you look like.
Yeah, maybe not. My hair grew out a little bit longer. I started shaving. That whole 9 yards. And I think I'm getting better at this off-the-cuff stuff, so that's nice, too.
Yeah, it's going pretty well on this one.
Super nervous during our interview, like months and months back. By the way, it's cool to have you in a chat again.
Yeah.
Hey, Badger.
Hello.
So will you, once you hit, if you hit a certain number of subscribers, will you do a face reveal? Because I'm really interested in knowing what you look like.
Are you telling me you want me to take this pumpkin off?
Oh, you haven't seen him with the pumpkin off. Okay.
No, I
Okay,
I think Sassy is more interested in Badger's actual face.
Haven't you realised that I am actually...
shave all the fur off his face.
Haven't you realised that I am actually a badger?
So, Bad-tempered badger, I think what she's trying to get at, she wants you to shave all the hair off of your face.
Alright, just a minute.
like...
Just a shaved badger.
Just a minute, I'll take the pumpkin off. You can...
No! Oh my god, you guys are...
It's a compromise, accept it.
No! I don't
just
know
a
what
second.
he looks like without the pumpkin.
Honestly,
I
I
already know
really
he-
don't want him to take anything else off because the only thing that's under there is a bad temper.
There we go. How's that for you?
I just got.
Does that
you
about
and
cover it
Unholy
for
Mole
you?
mixed up. I apologize, bad-tempered badger.
That's alright. Does this about cover it for you?
I'm still waiting to
Oh,
see
look
the
at
bad
those
temper
claws.
because he's just he's the stereotype of the Brit who will insult you so politely you won't know whether or not you're supposed to be offended.
Well, Mr.
That
Rationale,
would be very interesting to go through.
Mr. Rationale, I would
What's
very
up?
much appreciate you coming on for a chat at some point if you'd be interested.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, man. I got
'Cause I-
something I'm
So
doing
far,
tomorrow with David Worley.
Yep, no, it's great. I do very much appreciate people coming on and having discussions with me, especially if there's a topic.
Yeah. So far,
Oh,
I've got like...
David Worley as well, I think.
He told me he didn't want to do any video with me until he got to know me, but yeah, he hasn't done anything to get to know me, so whatever.
Who are we on
vouch for
about?
you. Just throw my name out. I'll vouch for you.
No,
I agree.
so far I have about like, I think 4 people that will be coming on my channel in the future. I've got Badger. You said you would come on my channel, right?
Yeah, why not?
You got on Neil's 604 Atheist show, right?
Neil's the
Huh?
greatest.
Again, Neil's gonna come on. Neil's gonna come on
I
sometime.
managed to poach you
Randolph,
for. I managed to poach you from Neil and beat him to
Randolph.
the interview, didn't I?
Randolph, you're coming on. You said like
I'm looking forward to that.
June. Yeah, and
Thank you.
and with the craft, she's gonna be my first guest. We're gonna be doing a video of
Fantastic.
Girl Defined, the 50 questions to ask in a romantic relationship. So
That should be fun.
Right.
yeah,
I don't
it's
think
not
I'm gonna
fun.
be able to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to face palm through my desk hard enough on,
Okay,
on
everyone.
that one.
You guys, we were going through over 130 questions to ask before you're in a relationship or something like that, and we were going through some of them, and they were. I already did a video with Lee about it, and I'm gonna do it again. And
I
those
did
questions
a
are just
video
terrible.
on the Girl Defined thing, and after that, I got very sick. After that one video, content of the video.
Yeah.
And you can go look on it on my channel. It's called You Are Not Broken. It was a very difficult
I think I've
video
seen
to
that one,
make.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard video. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, and one of the I was watching, because I'm watching. They have like over 150 videos on their channel, and that's just aside from all the blog posts that they do on their blog. And one of them I was reading was erotica. Should Christian women read it? And
At the very
and-
least, at least they're not as bad as biblical gender roles.
I'm.
They talk about biblical roles, like what's the purpose of a
No, I'm
woman?
talking about the blog biblical gender
No,
roles.
there's a blog. They also have a
Biblical?
YouTube channel.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
also have a
blog called Biblical Gender Roles, and Sturz just did a video on them yesterday, where they were talking about women should get married as soon as they menstruate because they are pubescent women, and once they menstruate, they're no longer children. At which point, I shared an article
Fucking
and it
as
gets shown in
early as
God.
7 years old.
where a
Oh my-
where a child at 6 years and 5 months had a baby via cesarean section.
I'm not
She
gonna
started
lie. I
menstruating-
did.
She started menstruating at 8 months.
I'm
I'm not gonna
uncomfortable
lie.
about this.
I did not make it through that stream. I had to leave because I was angry, crying, and almost punched my laptop screen. It just, as a
Yeah.
mom,
I started doing an end
no.
table during the end stream, so I didn't punch my computer.
That's some ugly shit right there.
I unfortunately got caught up in drama with OS and his gang, so that was kind of shitty. I still wish we were like friends or whatever. I don't know, man. Rich didn't think.
Randolph,
south like
I've
they
been
did.
told in the chat that you need to update your Twitter picture.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to
Who's
hop
telling
off
me that?
here.
That'll be
I'm
Susan
gonna
again.
have to hop
Mike,
off here.
loved on.
My kids woke up and they have decided not to cooperate. So
No,
But-
Jack, don't leave.
Oh, it's
I
nice
will
chatting
be
with
in
you.
chat. I will be in chat, but yeah, they're not cooperating. So there's going to be so much background noise. But I
It's a
will be
pleasure
in
to
chat.
speak with you.
Alright, go take care of your kids. Nice to talk to
care.
you.
It's. I also must mention I need to toodle off fairly soon because it's getting a little bit late here, and I do need to organise myself for tomorrow. So I will be soon shutting down my end of the stream, but I will try to make sure that I transfer the link and anyone left in my chat at that time over to the other one.
So, Bad-tempered Badger, who is it that's saying my picture needs to be updated, and what are they suggesting I update it to?
I like your picture. It
I
looks
will
very
ask.
burgundy.
Just a minute.
Well, Reagan is the devil.
I'm always open to suggestions. I may not take them, but I'm open to suggestions.
Same thing,
I
West Coast.
apologize for everybody. I'm sorry.
Oh, the kitty.
Oh, kitty witty. Oh.
Well, Randolph, what you should do is just take your picture and stretch it in odd ways and claim that he was your brother.
You should give yourself a nose that's bigger than your face.
Oh boy.
Or
Take
it
that
may
word
sound the
back to
same,
its
but maybe make your
Ah.
face smaller than your.
Or you should, Randolph, you should put your face on, edit your face onto a woman in a bikini. That would be fun.
Oh no.
Also, the person
Rule 63, Randolph Richardson. Nice.
the person who originally said you should update your picture, when I said what sort of picture should he update it to, said a newer one.
I guess I should do that at some point. I'll add it to my to-do list.
To-do list.
Right, I'm just gonna transfer the links over to my chat to the main stream, and then I'm gonna start making my escape.
Wasn't there someone, a couple of other people? Goodbye.
Sleep well, Badger.
I'm not quite gone yet. I'm just doing the stream
here in a
transfers.
few.
Say again?
So I said I'm also going to have to be heading out here in a few. So I just want to let anyone know, because most of you in here haven't done an atheist flashback yet, besides Sassy and Aaron. So if any of you want to come do that, that would be awesome. Atheist rationale, if you want to do something to put a little extra focus on the NIFB, I'd love to work with you, or we'd love to have you on Leah. And same to you, Randolph, if you want to come talk about what you're doing up in Canada.
Either of those sound kind of awesome.
I'd be delighted. Yeah, anytime.
Oh, by the way, Mac, you ruined me that night. You ruined me that night.
I ruined everyone.
Great skeptic. I'm not sure how well I could play the Christian I was when I was like 8 years old, but I think I've watched enough NIFB content to pretend to be one of them. Start busting out Romans.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
I'd like to.
I'm happy the godless.
That would be my problem with doing
Australian.
your show, Gray, is that I don't think I ever believed in anything strong enough to actually make it interesting.
Well, that's
I mean,
okay.
I was a
We can
flat
always talk
earther at
about
one
something
point, so that
else.
was interesting.
What was it?
I used to be a flat earther, so there was that.
Ooh.
I know we talked about that on ours.
That's great.
We talked about
Great.
I no
Gray
longer
Skeptic,
believe in the Earth is
I
flat.
would like to come on
I
for
was
chat with you as
told-
well.
You know what I've heard about flat Earths? I've heard that they have groups all around the globe.
Oh, fun fact.
Slowly though, and their brains explode.
It's too funny.
NASA's a
fact.
hoax.
The flat earthers. I read this on Twitter. They believe that Australia is Australia is a big conspiracy theory, and that Australians are paid actors hired by NASA.
Oh yeah, Australia is completely fictional. Just ask Not Your Witness.
What?
Or
Wait, what?
don't, because it doesn't matter.
Wait, they believe that Australia is not. What?
Yeah, they really believe. Well, some of them really believe that Australia doesn't exist, and that like everybody on the country, continent, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is like a crisis. Essentially,
Sounds like
they're all
not
like
well
paid by
traveled.
NASA.
Sounds like they're not very well traveled.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. It was we were taught that the goddess said the Earth was flat, so the Earth was flat, and then
Oh, Mac.
Oh my God.
That's more.
Yeah.
I'd buy that more than like any of their crackpot theories, honestly.
Mac,
I've
one
never been to
atheist-
Australia, but I'm pretty sure it's there.
Mac,
Oh
one
my
atheist
God.
one witch is saying in the side chat that her husband is an XJW.
Who said that?
One atheist, one witch.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
I'd love to talk with him.
Yeah, he's
Gray,
an XJW who's now an atheist. That
Yeah, he
I'd
is
like to come on
awesome.
with you as well at some point and have a nice chat if you'd be willing. Or you could come on my channel, or you could go on your channel, we could do a bit of both.
Okay, yeah.
okay, well,
Anyone who wants to come on, please just let me know. Let me know in a Twitter DM. That's the best way to get a hold of me. But I do have to go now because I need to go get ready for classes.
I'll say hi to
Okay,
Chris.
I'll
Excellent.
talk to you soon.
I
Have a good
also
day,
need to. I also
Okay.
need to shut
And
down my end of the
Badger,
stream.
thank you so much for helping organize this and helping me get things running here.
That's all right. And I think we ended up sending most of the viewers over to your channel anyway, because the quality on mine is not quite as good because I'm trying to run 2 streams effectively through my crappy internet connection. So, but
Well, sorry about that.
that's all right. We've got everyone
Well, thanks
sent
to
over
everyone
to
on your
you.
channel
So
for tuning in.
yeah, I've put the link, so hopefully everybody's on their way over to the main one now. I shall speak to you all
Okay,
later,
well, I didn't want
and
to steal your subscribers or anything.
that's all right. So thank you very much for having me. I shall speak to you all soon.
Bye.
Say,
Later,
Eric,
Badger.
good talking to you again.
Actually, Badger is one of the reasons I started doing this on Tuesday afternoons.